Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Beyond the Cage. I am your host, Jim Graham, and joining me on the line today, we have a special guest. He is fresh off his victory at Bellator Kickboxing 3. He is the real deal Raymond Daniels. And Raymond, thanks for coming back on Beyond the Cage.
Oh, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Looking at Bellator Kickboxing 3, of course, your fight was one of 5 that were shown live on Spike TV. And I believe this was your first time fighting in Budapest. So how was Budapest and the fans and everything kind of surrounding the event there for you, Raymond?
Man, Jim, my first time ever going to Budapest was actually a really, really awesome experience. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. I've never been there before, but I've never seen so many, such an awesome culture. I had a really good time when I went out. The fans, obviously, they're going to cheer for their home crowd guy. So obviously they're cheering against me. But I think by the end of it, they had a good time. They had a good show, and I think I earned definitely some new fans out in Budapest for sure.
Now, of course, like you said, you were taking on a native there of Hungary in Zsolt Benedek. And coming into the fight, what did you know about Benedek, and what was kind of your game plan coming into the match against him?
Well, my game plan was when I came in, I knew I had a little more height than he did. So I wanted to definitely make sure I used my reach. I was able to find some footage on him. He looked a lot quicker, and he comes from, I believe, a karate background. So I figured he would be a little more aware and alert to my style and some of my different techniques, because that's where his original background is from. He's even competed in some of the same type of leagues and events that I competed in. So I was looking forward to getting in there and exchanging with him. I could see that he was a really tough guy just from watching the videos, able to take shots, able to give a lot of shots. So I was really looking forward to going in there and mixing it up with him.
Now, of course, you ended up earning yourself a unanimous decision, though you were definitely trying for the knockout as you hit him with a barrage of different strikes, especially, again, with your spin kicks that you're known for. Were you surprised at all that he was able to take the punishment that you were dishing out at him, Raymond?
You know what? To be honest, I was really surprised that he was able to take that amount of damage. Many times when I hit people with those type of shots and that type of power and those type of techniques, they go down. But he was kind of like the Terminator. He just kept coming forward or kept moving around, and he wouldn't go down. And I've heard and stuff and cringed a couple of times on a few different things, but he never went down. Obviously, he had the support of his fans and his country behind him. So that definitely made it that much more motivation for him to try and stay on his feet. So I was definitely surprised that he didn't go down during that fight.
Now, of course, your last couple of fights, either in Glory or Bellator, have gone pretty quick. First-round knockouts, this time a decision, your first decision in quite a while. So was it good to kind of get some ring work in there, or would have you been just as happy if you went out there with another 30-second knockout performance?
You know what? At the end of the day, it was nice to actually go. When I look in my hindsight, I always want to go in for the finish. That's always my goal. Whenever I'm competing, because that's what the fans want to see. That's what I expected myself. But it's definitely a good experience to actually have somebody that I fight that I actually go to the distance with. So I had a really good time in there and got to see and use a few different things that I normally don't get to use.
Now, of course, the main event there of your fight in Budapest was Zoltan Lazic against Karim Gazi for the Bellator Welterweight Championship. Obviously, your division, so you're keeping an eye on that one. First off, what did you think of the fight? And second off, do you agree with the decision giving Lazic the win in the championship?
I think being there and actually seeing it a little bit, seeing it on TV, you can see multiple different things. But the biggest thing is I think it was a great fight for that particular title. It was a really close fight. That's why I'm not a judge, and I'm glad I'm not a judge. I just rather get up in there, and that's why I like to finish people. But obviously the judges are judges for a reason, and and he won the fight. I thought he did pretty well. I thought he possibly won the fight. He was stronger in a field of rounds and coming in with a whole lot of power. So I thought he was up maybe 3-2 on the round. And I think the judges had it right personally, in my personal opinion. Just outside looking in. But a lot of times people say if you want to beat the champ, you have to really, really beat the champ. So
I think a lot of people, at least in my opinion, wasn't necessarily that Lazic won, but the one judge scored it 4-1 in favor for him, which I'm not sure if you could really make 4 rounds for Zoltan. Did you feel that 4-1's maybe a little bit of a stretch? And like you said, it was probably closer to 3-2 for either gentleman?
yes, I thought the fight could have went either way. So the 4-1 was a big jump, you know. I think a 4-1 was a really big jump. I think maybe a 3-2. But I think the judges had it right. Like I said, and then, you know, you got to realize if you're coming in and you are the champion, when you're coming into someone else's country, you got to go in and make it. If it goes decision, you have to make it so convincing that there is no doubt in any judges or fans' mind. You know, so that's part of being the champ, because everybody wants what it is that you have around your waist. So you got to make sure you stay hungry.
I wanted to get your thoughts, Raymond, on a couple of signees that Bellator has brought in. First, in the mixed martial arts realm, a guy you've done some training with, and Rory MacDonald has finally signed with Bellator. With your relationship with him, are you pretty excited to see Rory MacDonald fight under the Bellator banner?
Oh, I'm super excited to see Rory with Bellator now. Rory's a good friend of mine. I was able to hang out with him after he did his signing and stuff like that. We went to have dinner. But he's a great guy. He's a great addition to Bellator. Bellator needs competitors like Rory MacDonald, who are true superstars. And I mean, he's a monster in every aspect of the game, from his stand-up to his ground. So I think it's a huge move for Bellator to pick up Rory MacDonald. And I'm excited to continue to keep working with him, continue growing our friendship, and seeing what he's going to really bring. He's bringing a huge fan base right over to Bellator. And he's not just a star, he's a superstar. So I think the fact that Bellator bringing him in means they're making some really big moves here in the near future.
Now, getting to your side of things, the kickboxing side of things for Bellator, they have recently signed 2 pretty big free agents, first being Giorgio Petrosian and the other being John Wayne Parr. What are your thoughts on signing these 2 legends here in kickboxing to Bellator?
I mean, they're signing some great legends. And they're obviously Bellator has been doing some international stuff here in Italy. Hopefully, they'll be going to Australia now with John Wayne Parr in the car. But they're signing some superstars because they're trying to make the correct moves in order to continue to grow it. And you need not just stars, you need superstars, people that are going to help the sport grow. And that's what Giorgio Petrosian will do. Especially in Italy, we have the next event in Italy. Put in a superstar like him, he's a legend in Italy. Everybody's only heard I've only ever heard great things. I've met him a couple of times in some Bellator events. John Wayne Parr, I've never had the opportunity of meeting, but everybody know and has heard about that man. So it just shows that Bellator means business, and they're here to stay.
Speaking of your event there, Bellator Kickboxing 3, of course, it was live September 17th for the crowd there in Budapest, but it wasn't televised until the following Friday on Spike TV, being tape delayed. Are you okay with it being tape delayed? Would you rather have it been shown live, or do you think Bellator is still just kind of trying to figure out where to put kickboxing, and did it irk you at all that it wasn't shown live?
I would definitely like it. I'd definitely like it to be shown live, obviously. But Bellator is doing a good job, because what they're doing is they're building a huge fan base and creating a following and a hype behind the actual event before the event actually starts. So what that does is it creates a following from the fans and stuff like that. And they're not only creating new U.S. fans, but it gives them time to advertise the event, but they're also creating fans around the world. So which a lot of other organizations aren't doing. So it gives them time with a new product to advertise that product. So I think that's a really cool concept. And then even if it was like live and stuff like that, where the people don't realize that us as the fighters would have to be fighting almost at 1 o'clock in the morning or 6 in the morning in order to make it live over here, especially if it's an international event. So at the same time, it does benefit us as fighters, because we don't have to fight. at odd hours. Like when UFC goes to Australia and they're fighting at 1 in the morning, it is some type of wear and tear on the fighters themselves.
Now, Bellator has already announced their next kickboxing event. Of course, you've already alluded to it's going to be in Florence, Italy on December 10th. It will be, once again, an MMA and kickboxing event taking place there. Your name is attached to the event. As of the last report I saw, you haven't gotten an opponent or officially put on the card, but I didn't know if you had any updated information for us in regards to your competing on December 10th in Italy.
No, I don't. I don't have any updates. I haven't been officially signed to the card. I know they talked to me and spoke to me to see if I was interested, if I'd be okay, obviously, because I just had a fight, so making sure I didn't have any injuries, which I don't. So I'm actually in the gym right now working. It's about constant, never-ending improvement for myself. So whether I do have a fight on December 10th or I don't have a fight on December 10th, I'll still be making sure I'm pushing the limit and making myself better, making myself stronger. So continuing to strive towards getting that belt and towards being one of the best kickboxers there ever is.
Now, of course, after your win there in Budapest, your eyes are now on the Bellator Welterweight Championship. If for some reason either you don't fight on the 10th or you don't fight for the title, is there anyone in particular you would like to fight for your next bouts, or just somebody that can keep you in line to fight for the championship?
I like to fight anybody who considers themselves the best in my particular division, in my particular weight class. It doesn't matter really who is placed in front of me. My goal is always to go out and dominate anybody that steps in front of me when I fight. So I don't really put too much weight on fighting any particular person or anything like that. Whoever is in front of me, my goal is to make them part of my next highlight reel. That's always my goal whenever other than that, they're just a name and a face.
Now, of course, this was the first Bellator event that just featured kickboxing. It wasn't in tandem with mixed martial arts in any form. Is that like a different feel for you, not having to worry about doing an MMA event? Not you personally, but that Bellator was setting up an MMA event. Did it feel like a different field that you could just focus on stepping in the ring and not changing venues or different fighting arenas, I guess I should say?
Yeah, no, it was really nice actually to really just focus on the kickboxing side. There wasn't as much. Obviously, when you're running like two types of different events, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that's going on and stuff like that. A lot of different things that you have to do. So it was really nice to just be able to focus on what it is we needed to do and being at the arenas at the times we needed to be there and not having to worry about being shuffled around so much. So it was really nice and it was a great feel. So I'm looking forward to the continue. Obviously, Bellator kickboxing is very young, so I'm looking forward to the continued growth of it and looking to grow with it continuously.
Now, do you think with this event being on its own, not attached to MMA, that they'll be able to kind of gauge doing more events detached from mixed martial arts in the future?
Yeah, I think that is its goal. But obviously, if you have a product that has worked, the best way to go about to build a new product is to kind of piggyback off of what it is that you've already had great success doing. They've had great success with the Bellator MMA, so it only makes sense for them to piggyback it off the first few of it until they build that fan base and that following that they need in order for Bellator kickboxing to stand alone like they did this last event. So it only makes sense. I know they're planning on doing even more events next year. So and now they're building that fan base over in Europe, and they're building that fan base here in the States. So to me, that only makes sense, and that just shows that they're a good business model. And they're not just coming out, walking around, blind or aimlessly with just coming out, we're going to throw an event here, we're going to throw an event there. They're actually working really hard to build that fan base and build that viewership, because that's what kickboxing is missing, is just that viewership.
All right, Raymond, I'll get you out of here with this. Of course, last time we had you on the show, found out that you're a big fan of Superman. So I got a Superman-related question for you, and I don't want.
All right, go ahead.
I don't want to use them all up in the interview, but who is your favorite actor so far to portray Superman?
That's a rough one. To be honest, that's a pretty rough one. I don't necessarily have any particular favorite actor. so far. The latest one was actually one of the best as far as storylines. I didn't like even the Superman versus Batman version, but I haven't had one that I like lately that has been that has really stuck out to me. It's actually the character himself.
Absolutely. All right, he is Raymond Daniels. You can follow him on Twitter at @RD_GOAT. And Raymond, thanks again for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I look forward to kickboxing, hopefully December in Italy.
All right, thanks a lot, Jim. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me again.
Once again, that was Raymond Daniels right here on Beyond the Cage.